It's start time with the Star Roddy Rod.
Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your homie Big Smash, representing Bet the House Podcast, the illest, most trillest, most realest show you could ever listen to. Checking out my boy Star Roddy Rod. Y'all already know what time it is. Check us out. We out here. We lit. We popping. The up and coming scene is deadly, and we in control of that shit. Y'all already know what it is, man. Pop the fuck up. We out.
It's start time. Today, we got a very special guest, J Nycole, in the building. What's going on, J Nycole?
What's up? What's up? Thank you so much for having me. I feel honored to be asked and invited to be a guest on your podcast. Thank you.
It's start time, baby. And today, I want to get into a little background, a couple things I want to get into. So, tell people about yourself. Introduce yourself to the world. The many things
Sure.
you're doing.
Yes, yes. So I am a master manifester and transformer out here in these streets. I weave profound narratives, and I deliver captivating performances that mesmerize and elevate, whether that's on TV, whether that's on the screen, film, whether that's on Broadway. And I do that as well with my manifestation experiences. I do virtual manifestation experiences as well as in-person manifestation experiences. And I've been recently traveling to Africa to do that. So just got back from Ghana doing that. And our next trip will be to Egypt. And yeah, I am love, I am light, I am authentic, supportive, and connected woman. And yeah, that is me.
All right. All right. So, tell me what got you into acting or how long you've been acting for.
Man, I've been acting my whole life, Roderick. I've been a character since I was a little kid. But professionally, I started performing like right out of college. I started performing. And so when I say performing, because I went to college for dance. And so I started dancing right out of college. So at the age of, how old was I coming out of college? 22, I guess. But I say performing because it wasn't just dance. My first show was an off-Broadway show. So it was singing, acting, and dancing all together. And so I guess that was probably like my first foray into acting was doing the off-Broadway where it was singing, acting, and dancing all together. And from there, I just got more and more interested. I'll be honest, I had always wanted to act ever since I was little, but where I grew up in Sandusky, Ohio, there was no acting school. They only had dance studios. So my mother put me in dance. And so then when I graduated, I got a scholarship to Alvin Ailey and came here to New York to study dance. And then after I graduated from college with my degree in dance is when I went off Broadway and did that. And I loved that even more than just dancing, just doing dance companies or whatever, because it had the acting element and I loved that. And so from there, I actually took a little break to just focus on dance again. But I was like, nah, something's missing. And so eventually I came back to musical theater, which incorporates all three. And then from there, I started doing TV and film as well.
So you did small roles in TV shows?
Yeah, I have. I just shot a Netflix show early last month, 2 months ago. And
Wow, Netflix.
Last year I was in That Damn Michael Che, which is on HBO Max. Well, I guess it's just called Max now. It used to be called HBO Max. And done the Law and Order thing, and
SVU, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And yeah, those are the TV show. Oh, wait, I feel like there was another Netflix one a while back too. Oh, there was what was it called? It was called I have to check my resume and tell you that because that was a while ago. I have to check my resume and tell you that one. Yeah. And then my own series that I created called Working Out the Kinks was a digital comedy series, and that was on Black Oak TV and Quelle TV as well.
What's Black Oak TV? That's
It's a digital streaming platform. Both of
oh,
them are. Black Oak TV and Quelle TV are both digital streaming platforms. Yep. And
never heard of them before.
they cater to the Black audience.
Okay, I never heard of those channels.
Mm-hmm. Black Oak TV is more specifically for comedies, and Quelle is more comprehensive. It's more than just comedies. It's like all. I think Quelle is more like all genres.
Got it.
But it's Black folks. But it's black. It's blackity black.
Like TV One type of stuff.
Yeah, but more. I was some. I think the content is even more has even more depth than either TV One or BET, to be honest.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how was it when you did your first stage performance?
How was it when I did my first stage performance? So now, are we talking about like when I was little and did my first stage performance, young? Or are we talking about when I did my first professional stage performance? Or are we talking about when I first did my Broadway? Professional. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I did my first it was just fun. To be honest, it really was just fun. My first professional was the one that off Broadway that I told you about when I was still actually a senior in college, and it was just I went to the audition. I did the audition. That was nerve-wracking because doing auditions is
that's what I figured.
Yeah, it makes me really nervous, even still to this day, even though I've been doing this for years now. Like auditions still make me nervous. So back then, doing my very first audition, I was definitely nervous, but I clearly performed well because I booked the job. And then I just thoroughly enjoyed myself. The rehearsal process, it was fun. The people were fun. The show was fun. It was a great show. Mm-hmm. One thing that did happen that was interesting that sticks out to me during that time frame, two things actually. One is I found out that somebody else in the show was getting paid more than I was.
Oh,
and no. Yeah. And so I went to the director and asked about increasing my pay, which is typically taboo in the industry. Like, you're not supposed to discuss pay with other actors, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's what they tell you, you're not supposed to do that or whatever. And definitely don't, after you've already signed the contract, go back to renegotiate because you heard somebody got paid more. Like, that's just not a thing, because once you sign the dotted line, that's it. It's set in stone. But this was my very first job, and I didn't know that. I didn't know that those were the rules. I didn't have an agent at the time, to help me. I was my own agent. I was my own manager. And so I went and God was with me because they actually increased my pay and they matched what the other actor was getting paid. And that just does not happen in the industry. But I was looking back in hindsight, even though now I know that is very taboo. And now if that were to ever occur again, I don't know if I would approach it the same way. if at all. But I'm proud of myself for standing up for myself and being my own agent and manager in that moment and getting what I deserved. So that was one thing that came out of that. And it spoke to them because they were open to that, but it also spoke to me and how they viewed me because they really truly valued me as an actor. And so I really appreciated that. And then the other thing that came up in that very first experience was that I made connections within the company. So not just the director, not just the choreographer, not just the producer, but other actors. And immediately after that show, one of the other actors and dancers, she actually put me in touch with another choreographer and director, and I booked another job immediately after just because of the relationship I had with the other actor in that.
Oh, that is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So you could say that you've been doing the Broadway thing for many years as well. Like you have a Broadway show. Like now you did. What was the last one you did?
Right now, I'm currently in the Book of Mormon on
The
Broadway.
Book of Mormon. There we go. That's
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I've been with that show for 7 years now.
7.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is something.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been doing Broadway ever since you got out of college, or that was after, or that was in between the acting? How did
Yeah, so no,
you do
so
both?
when I got, so my senior year, I told you I did that off Broadway show. And then after that, I just did, I took a break from musical theater and I strictly focused on dancing for a while. So I danced with a dance company up in Harlem, the one I just told you about, the girl, the other actor, she hooked me up with a dance company up in Harlem. So I danced with that dance company in Harlem for a year. And then I left and I started dancing at an amusement park called Cedar Point. I danced there. That's in my hometown, Cedar Point. I danced at that amusement park for a summer. Then after that, I went and danced with another dance company in Ohio. So just dancing. After that,
But
I
it
went.
goes hand in hand at the end of the day because in Broadway you still dance as well. So
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So it took me many years actually to come back to Broadway. Yeah,
oh,
because I was just dancing. I did cruise ships, dance companies, amusement parks. Yeah, I did a lot.
wow. Hey.
Yeah, cruise ships were really fun. I actually kind of miss cruise ships. That was probably like the most fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So your manifestation, it was like a little course that you had in January. What exactly was it again? It was
Yeah.
the
So I did a back in January. I did a manifestation challenge. That's my annual manifestation challenge. It's called J Nycole's motherfucking manifestation challenge, and we do that at the top of every year. Well, usually, yeah, we do it at the top of every year. And what it is a virtual event where you come in with your desires and your goals for the new year. And I help you with tools and planning and goal setting to be able to manifest your goals in the new year and manifest them more quickly than you may have ever been able to do so before.
yeah. I remember I did the homework for that for a couple of days.
Nice. Nice. How was that for you?
It was good because it was like, but it was extensive because you had like a couple of sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So the average person can't always join everything. So I just
Okay.
pop in every time I can to listen to y'all talk, and then I
Mm-hmm.
would try to do the homework as much as I can. And the homework just really was like, oh wow, it really brings something out about what you want next and stuff. So that's how I
Yeah.
got.
Yeah. 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 It is. It's a 10-day challenge, and that's why we call it a challenge because it's not easy to do it. It's like you got to really want it. Like if you really want to see a drastic change in your life, you got to do something drastically different. And so the people who really dedicated those 10 days and came for the morning sessions and the evening sessions, or the afternoon
Mm,
session and the evening sessions,
mm.
They saw some shifts, baby. They saw some shifts. They started manifesting more money. They started manifesting more different jobs. They started manifesting just feeling better, more peace, more confidence, more ease,
Yeah,
more gratitude, uh, and and the tangible stuff too, like more clientele, more money, all that stuff too. So yeah, the work works if you work it.
definitely.
Okay,
They always said prayer without works is dead, something like that. Yeah.
so that works. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So on to the next thing. How did you hear about momentum?
How did I hear about momentum? How did I hear about momentum? I think, some friends in my circle have been like talking about it here and there. So I had heard about it before, but then I was in a girls group where we were reading this book called Calling in the One, which is a book about calling in your partner or your divine partner or whatever, and or calling in your love, calling in the one. It was a group of us women together reading this book together and doing that work. And that book is a lot of self-development work within that book. Even though it's about calling in your one, it's really a lot of work on yourself,
Who
self-development.
is it by so the audience can look it up?
I want to say Catherine Woodward is her name, but I could be lying. Let me see. I could probably
Do
see it
a quick search.
if I'm telling the truth. Calling in the One by Catherine Woodward. Yep, I was right. Today,
All right. So there's an
yeah.
audio version and a video and a actual book or something.
Yep, you could get it either the audio book or the hard copy book, or they probably got an ebook somewhere too. But it's by, I'm sorry, Catherine Woodward Thomas. Catherine Woodward Thomas is her full name. Yeah,
Gotcha.
so we're reading that book. Like I said, it's a lot of self-development in that book itself, a lot of self-work you got to do in order to be able to call in the one. So it was a group of women, we're all doing it together. And since we're already doing that type of work, reading this book, Calling in the One, some of the ladies had already done momentum. And so they recommended it to the rest of us because it's like, oh, if you are into this sort of thing, momentum will probably be for you too. So when they recommended it, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and do it.
So you didn't. So you actually had an email.
I did, yes.
Oh,
Her name is Tiana Louise. Shout out to Tiana. I
all right. Yeah.
was just talking to her, matter of fact, right before I got on with you.
All right.
Mhm.
So how did you feel when you first got in there with Butterfly Soul?
How did I first feel when I got in there? I'll be honest, when I first before Butter came into the room, when it was just us sitting there waiting for him to come into the room, I'll be honest, I felt I was a little surprised because the energy felt lower than I expected it to be because I do a lot of self-development, personal empowerment programs. So
Yeah.
I've done a lot of them and the energy in the room was just different. And I don't know if it was just because it's this a New York crowd. Oh, no, because I've done stuff in New York before. Yeah, the energy was just different. It was lower than I normally used to. So I was like, so at first when I got in there, I was like, oh shoot, this isn't gonna be what I thought it was gonna be. And then when Butter got in there and started talking, I was like, okay, it lifted the energy a bit. So I was like, okay, this is okay, all right. But I still was a little hesitant for the couple of hours because of that energy that I felt when I came into the room. And I was like, okay. But after we got going, honey, it got good. It got good.
I really was at first thinking of it like taking it like I was walking into a college class. I had the book ready and the pen ready, and I was sitting in the back row. But then once we started taking breaks and stuff, I said, "Let me intro." So I started to started to move my seat up more and more because Butterfly Soul is really an interesting character.
Mhm. He's an amazing coach, an amazing trainer. Yeah. Yeah. Incredible.
So like the basic class was like the activities really opened up a lot of people because like there was an activity without giving it away, I could say there was an activity about trust. And we didn't even know everybody named the room. So that was interesting because it's like this is day one and you're still a stranger to me.
Yeah.
How you felt when we did that activity?
It was, how did I feel when I did that exercise? How did I feel when I did that exercise? I was intrigued. I was intrigued by my response to people. So yeah, it was intriguing to me to find to have my eyes opened to my preconceptions. Yeah.
But what was crazy about basic? Like we didn't care to know each other's name as quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe during the second and third day when we would volunteer ourselves to go up there and
Mm-hmm.
share. But
Mm-hmm.
it really opened the activities really opened our eyes because it really was like how you see yourself in the world, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was a very eye-opening experience. Incredible, incredible growing opportunities in there. And I highly recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But
Yeah.
when we did the group huddles, those were times when we really, really got to know based on what Butter was doing on the board.
Yeah.
Got to know each other more.
Yeah. Yep.
Because a lot of
Yeah.
people have
Momentum.
backstories of their life. And there was people
Mm-hmm.
that I know the very last day was the very hardest when they did the letter to your parent. Wait, they did two letters, right? They did a letter to yourself and then your parents, right?
I don't think so.
They did the letter to your mom and to your dad. I know that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And those were hard for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Why you giving stuff away?
No, I mean I'm not giving everything away, but I just wanted to highlight something that was really impactful without.
Yeah, it was. You're right. Very, very impactful. Yeah.
It's like the things that we it just brought the room into emotions when
Mm-hmm.
you see when you hear why they broke down for whatever reason and
Mm-hmm.
whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the huddle and my team was boiling.
Wow.
And then it's like when you listen to their story, you don't know. It's about life audience. Like basically, if you don't know nothing till you share, so you don't know what goes on with people's life. You know, you lost your parent, you didn't have a good relationship with this person, that person. Those people that saying F they dad. It was a lot for those letters. So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like the basic, it was really 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 great, right? I feel like
Yeah.
it was more of us getting up there and sharing.
Yeah. I think it speaks to the environment that momentum creates that we are able to feel safe enough to share those types of things. Yeah. It's really a safe space that they create there.
Yeah. So basic was definitely a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I tell you. So how was the last day you coming out of basic?
Say it again.
How was it on the last day when you came out of basic
Oh,
momentum?
how was it that last day? Um, I was excited because I knew that I was going to continue with the program, with Momentum's program. And so I was just excited for the possibilities of what was next, excited about the possibilities of what I could create in my life, with what I had learned there in the Momentum workshop, and with what would come next, with continuing with the Momentum program. And actually, after the Momentum workshop, the first workshop, I was able to end a relationship that had lingered in my life for way too long, that should have been closed out. Um,
That is what's up.
you might remember. I'll be transparent. You might remember Butter calling me out and saying you need to get rid of that maintenance man. Well, we got rid of the maintenance man.
I'm
um,
not gonna lie, when people got up top there, Butter definitely was like a mind reader. He knew how to call you out on your struggles.
yeah, yep,
It
yeah,
was like he was a powerful being that know, okay, this is what's going on.
yeah. He's very intuitive, very connected.
Intuitive, there we go. That's the word.
Yeah, yeah. And he was a seer. He could see things. He could see things about you, for real, like deep things about you. And then after that, after, I cut that relationship off, I was able to then start a new relationship that has lasted for 7 months now. So, and I hadn't dated in 2 years at that point. Like, the maintenance man was not dating, that was something else.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had not been dating in 2 years. And so the fact that I was able, that I now, I started dating, and it's lasted for 7 months, because that's what we did. Basic was 7 months ago. 7 months. That's crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
No, 8 months ago. Sorry, 8 months ago. I started dating him the next month. So we did basic 8 months ago, and then the next month I started dating him. Yeah.
Wow. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the people that we met in basic was definitely powerful too. Like the rest of the classmates was something.
For sure. For sure.
Some of those connections, still got till this day. So
I was gonna say, yeah, you keep still keeping in touch with them?
some of them,
Yeah. Okay.
everybody got what they got going on, but every now and then
Yeah.
they hi.
Yeah.
But like, the last day was a big party.
Mm-hmm.
That was it was like we went from pouring out our feelings the second and the third day from the activities to them celebrating us and everybody turning around and seeing people that they love in the room.
Yeah.
And that was very exciting. I never like to see something like that.
Mm-hmm.
My emo couldn't make it, but that's it. I ended up getting a voice message, a voice note to me, so that made up for it.
Nice.
And my emo was my little sister.
Oh, right, right, right. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Your blood sister.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
So I forgot to leave a name. I think Antoinette somebody, but she had came with the phone and she said, "Wow, she really cared about you. She made sure that you got this voice note. She made
Mm.
sure that you was enrolled and you committed to the 3 days. Because there were some people that didn't commit to the third day. Like the second day was so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
There
Yeah,
was a couple that didn't show back. You noticed that?
I did. Yeah.
It wasn't a huge amount, but there was a couple.
Yeah.
But it really showed like who was the strongest to make it out for
Yeah.
that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody listening right now, it's definitely worth it. 3 day workshop in New York City.
Yep.
Definitely have to do all 3 days to really get the hang of it. You can't just come in the middle, or you got to start from the first day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Highly
So then,
recommend.
so then the advancement come around.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you feel when we did advance?
How did I feel when we did advanced? I will I will say when I first started, I was a little bit sad that I didn't get to do advanced with my basic team members. I had, you and I, we did it way later than most of our basic team members.
Right.
And yeah, I wish there was part of me that wished that I could have done it with my basic team members, at least when I first got there. But the universe is perfect. Everything is perfect. And we were right in the advance that we were supposed to be in. And it was perfect. Um, absolutely, absolutely perfect. And I got so much out of advanced too. Um, yeah, again, I just feel
I would
like
say I would say that the advance was definitely a buildup of the basic in a way of the more tools that they give you to go out in the world.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, yeah,
Like
yes,
we had Robertson, right?
Robinson, mm-hmm,
Robinson.
mm-hmm,
And he always had these acronyms. I mean, Butterfly Soul had a couple of acronyms too, but it seemed like he was just more about Robinson was more trying to instill the acronyms in our head. Like the whole one of the acronyms he said was oh what the heck, do whatever it takes. And he
mm-hmm,
kept saying it for the whole weekend.
mm-hmm,
Where it stuck with you. There was a couple of others, but I wouldn't want to give it away. But yeah.
mm-hmm,
So like with the events, he just basically was like, "You're here now. Here's more tools to go
mm-hmm.
out in the world with."
Yeah,
So how did you feel about the activities that we did for the events?
I felt they were effective. I felt they were very effective. They helped me to uncover things that were holding me back.
Definitely,
And
that was activity. Yes,
yeah, they helped me uncover things that were holding me back and be able to shift them so that I could be making progress in areas of my life that were kind of stagnant.
yes, and then it also forced you to have a buddy this time
Hmm.
around.
Yeah.
So you was doing it with somebody who you held accountable to, and you was doing it with. So it didn't feel like you was doing the advanced course alone
Hmm. Yep.
in a class setting like you were in basic.
Yes. Yes.
And that's one of the things that made it more powerful and more impactful.
Mm. Hmm.
So you remember which activity was really an eye opener?
Mm. Which activity is really an eye opener? Lifeboat.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Lifeboat was different for everybody because it was, so most people were choosing other people to go on a lifeboat. Most people weren't choosing themselves. And
What's
at the
not
end, there were some people that weren't choosing themselves.
okay?
And they got called out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But in your mind, I'm like, you want to be a generous person, but you want to see yourself die. It was a good lesson.
Mm-hmm. It sure was. It was. Mm.
Now,
I I have I we got to start wrapping this up because I'm looking at the time and I gotta run.
oh man, so
Right.
all right. I got like maybe 2 more questions. So yeah, advance came, but I feel like even with the stretch activities, that is when we got more intertwined with our people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because then we had to work together with activities without knowing what it was and putting on a performance, putting on a show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of that, it got us more closer to the people that were doing it with us.
In real time in your life as you're going through the 90 days. It's not like, oh, we come together for 3 days, for 4 days, get these tools, we feel good, we're on a high, and then we go out into life and that's it. Like, no, we're going to be dealing with each other in real life over the next 3 months. And that is, and working together through that. And so leadership is more about team than it is about the individual, and how the team helps you to grow and blossom and achieve your goals as an individual. So that's what I'm getting from leadership right now.
And yeah, LT what?
LT 214, we reign supreme, baby.
Yeah. Mike, I see Mike Lyrics made a song for Momentum. Was that because of the leadership?
He sure, yeah, he sure did.
That was something.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it was great chatting with you, J Nycole. I know I was wanted you to help me talk about momentum and a little life journey. So tell everybody where they could follow you and find you on social media.
The best place to find me is probably on Instagram. Instagram is at J Nycole Ralph. So my name is spelled JNYCOLERALP as in Paul H at J Nycole Ralph on Instagram, or you can find me on Facebook, same name, J Nycole Ralph.
All right.
Yeah.
So Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
So it was good having you here.
Thank you, Roderick. I appreciate you, love.
No problem. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
This is the Star Roddy Rod, and I'm the host of Star Time. So I want to tell y'all about this awesome show that I'm on called the Premier Boys Podcast, where it's just me and 3 other brothers, Ken Mr. Gentleman, Ken Talk Aaron Sands, and Long Live the Chief Mally Mal, discussing topics of the culture and our opinions, latest news topics, latest stories, scandals, and we have a lot of fun doing this, you know? We talk our own opinions. Sometimes it's real raw, real raunchy, and sometimes it's just fun and games. So, you know, listen to it with an ear, you know, of enjoyment. We're here to entertain you, you know? We talk about topics of the news. We talk about reviews of shows. We just talk about anything from music to current events and everything in between. So you can catch us on Wednesdays on all streaming platforms with the exception of Spotify. So after you listen to this, go right ahead and listen and subscribe to the Premier Boys podcast. Recommended by me, the star Roddy Rod of Star Time. All right. It's Star Time, and that was the momentum effect with J Nycole. And I just want to thank J Nycole for taking time out her busy schedule to come and have this interview with me. Even then, I was on the crunch time with her. Like, she only allowed me a certain amount of time. So that was good for her to do. If you are interested in knowing more about Momentum Education, follow them online, momentum.com, or follow them on Instagram. Also, make sure that you are liking, subscribing, and sharing the show wherever you're listening to, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, or many other platforms. Also, we are on YouTube, so you can catch the live video version of this episode on YouTube, Star Time Podcast with Roddy. And follow me on IG at Threads at star.timeroddy. Follow me on Threads. Follow me on Twitter at the Star Roddy Rod. And make sure you come back next Monday for an all-new episode of Star Time Podcast. Peace. We out of here.
It's your girl Maiden Putty, and you're now listening to Star Time.